So you're a tough guy, like it really rough guy, just can't get enough guy.
All right, one more time. Welcome back to the stage, Finneas and Billie Eilish. First of all, how are your ankles? I read about this.
You read about my ankles?
Yeah, you're like spraining both of your ankles.
Well, listen, they said I didn't have to wear the boot in the daytime, and then I didn't wear the boot in the daytime, and I've been yelled at all day for it. So that's where I'm at. This one I sprained like a month ago.
Yeah.
This one I sprained.
You did that the other day, didn't you?
Yeah, in Milan, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
On tour. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Jump one of the show.
Yeah, it was,
well, we're glad you're here and semi-ambulatory. That's fantastic. So tell me, there's so much to talk about, but tell me, just thinking about Ocean Eyes and having, just listened to you perform that. When did you realize that song blew up? What was the moment that you kind of realized, something could be happening here?
You know what's funny about it? I think the moment we thought it blew up was not when it blew up. It was like, it was the next day. We had put it out like super late on like a Wednesday or something. And I remember the next day I was at like my dance class, and Finneas called me and he was like, yo, we got 1,000 plays on Ocean Eyes.
1,000?
1,000. And dude, like that's a lot of people. Like it actually is, even though it's not.
Yes. That's
like,
5 times as many people as we have here
this
this
evening.
evening.
Saying. Yes. If you put like he always says, if you put 1,000 people in a room, that's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't want to feed them lunch.
No, I would not either.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, at the time it was just like the biggest deal. And I really thought it was like, that was my moment. And then it would be over forever.
Yeah. Guess what?
I was wrong.
Yeah. Sorry. You were wrong. So I want to talk about making the album. And in particular, there's so much that's interesting about the record, particularly the way it sounds. And yet it was done in your childhood bedroom. And I would imagine, given where you were at that point when you recorded it, that you could have gone and done this record anywhere. You could have said, I want to do this on the moon, and the label would have figured out how to make that happen. The reality is you did it in your bedroom. Why?
Why not? It worked.
Yeah.
I know, but honestly, like, and I don't mean like now it worked. Like it worked then. So it was like it's like you don't have to fix something that's not broken, you know? So it wasn't really like we must because actually for the EP that came out like a year before that, Don't Smile at Me, that we actually had never made a project before, so we were like, oh, we gotta be all We had a studio. We like were in the studio like every day making that, and it was like the worst experience on planet Earth. It was just miserable.
Why? Why was that miserable?
I love it when you ask why it's miserable, and she's like,
Finneas, you explain.
I think to circle back to the bedroom thing, there's perks to the childhood bedroom. There's the place you sleep is there, so if you're tired, you can just go to sleep.
Sack out. See you later.
We had a private chef named our mom, which was fire.
All right, so already we have sleep, and we have sustenance. So
we also have a dog. Like we could pet our dog.
The dog. Yeah, we had a therapy dog.
Come on.
So the larger question becomes: how does that environment, affect the work? How does it affect you creatively?
Well, I think for like the time in our lives when we were making the album, it was so necessary. Like for instance, the reason I say that is because I think now when we make music, we're kind of at a place where we can kind of do it anywhere at this point. Mm-hmm. But I think in making this album, and I don't know if you agree with me, but like it just came naturally, and it didn't make us feel, I don't know, it just like made sense, and it was natural, and it was, and that's why it's so good that we're like or that's what the good thing about being brother and sister is, that it's just natural and it's just like good.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it just was great to be in my room and be like, I have an idea, and immediately record it. You know, don't have to go get in a car and go da 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 da. You know, so I don't know if you would explain it any differently.
Yeah, I think I think the reason that we wanted to do the EP in a studio in the first place was just a sense of focus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that can be like the main drawback of home is like sometimes you're like a messy room and you're just like, oh, I want to clean my room, and that's like whatever 45 minutes to like an hour and a half of your day.
Yeah, or somebody just shows up to hang out. And,
yeah, your friend comes over, whatever. Yeah, that happens like a total large amount.
Right.
And so I think renting the studio for the EP was important for that, to just go somewhere and just sit there and like, especially at that point with the EP, we had a real deadline. We had come up with a couple of songs, and we had this like date we were shooting for, which was like August 11th, which was when the EP came out.
Yeah.
So we knew that everything had to, for vinyl and for all of the digital stores and everything, they needed artwork and masters and mixes and everything. So we had this sort of like back date of like everything needs to be done June, Mm-hmm. And so I think working toward that deadline, when you do have a deadline like that, you can use that to your advantage and just kind of knuckle down.
Yeah.
By contrast, the album had a much looser deadline. We had this kind of all of 2018 to work on it. We toured a lot, but that's one of the things that's great about being at home is like sometimes, like I'll use When the Party's Over as an example. There were days where we worked on that song for like 20 minutes, and then there was like the night we finished it, we worked on it for like 18 hours because we just knew where it needed to go, and it was just like, it's like solving a puzzle, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just like sat in my room and just like hashed it out, and then like the sun rose. Billie's like, the sun's up. It was like 6 in the morning.
Yeah. Time to be done.
Time to be done.
Yeah.